let's bring in the political panel, Fox News contributor Leslie Marshall and the author of the latest Kelly Turnbull novel, Inferno, Kurt Schlichter. Thank you both. I just want to, Leslie, you go over, the president keeps saying that the rich should pay their fair share of taxes. And I want to point out again, the top 1% of earners pay 45% of all taxes. I want to put this up on the screen because this is Biden's proposed tax changes. The billionaire minimum tax is not even worth talking about. Capital gains from 20% to 39 plus. Top tax rate from 37 to 39, corporate tax rate from 21 to 28. He knows this is a non-starter, Leslie. I mean, it's not going to go anywhere in Congress. What's the point here?
Well, you have 54% of the American people that agree across the board, regardless of their politics, that you want to invest in growth rather than in stock buybacks. And that's what these types of taxation and programs do. The other thing is, talk is cheap. Sorry to be cliche. What does he say? And the president is saying, let's sit down. And the president is speaking the definition of a negotiation. You bring your stuff, I'll bring my stuff. We'll cross some things off the list. We'll come to a compromise. And by the way, that's really how effective government works. So the GOP says they can balance the budget. Bring it, but bring it written down on paper. Don't just diss the president.
The old, more flies with honey than vinegar. I want to play this soundbite going after MAGA Republicans. Kevin talked about it a little bit, but here's a good dose of it. Watch.
And so, folks, look, MAGA Republicans are calling for defunding the police departments and defunding the FBI. MAGA Republicans also refuse to raise a single penny in new taxes on the wealthiest people. MAGA Republicans are threatening to default on the national debt.
I think two things. One, you don't call people names, and two, you got to be honest with them, and then you might have a negotiation, Kurt.
Well, being honest isn't going to be Joe Biden's problem because he's just not going to do it. He never has over his last 50 years of failure. I think it's interesting. If you want to not make America great again, MAGA, you tax and spend, which is what he's doing. I just saw in there going from capital gains from about 20% to 39%. So when you sell your house, that appreciation, it's going to double your tax on it. If that's the argument we want to have, let's bring that. I'm very excited for him to make the case for taking twice as much of your hard-earned investment income.
Here's somebody from your team, Leslie, Democratic Senator Joe Manchin. Watch.
Expecting the greatest nation on earth with the greatest economy can't even put a budget together, won't even acknowledge a budget. The president's a month late in his budget.
And Kevin McCarthy, the speaker, said the budget is unserious.
I don't agree with that. It's very serious, first of all. Second of all, I'm sorry, but if being vice president for 2 terms and elected president of the United States, the greatest country in the world and leader of the free world, is a failure, sign me up, would you? You said he's been failing for 50 years. Look, the budget is essential. I mean, voters, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, it is always the economy, right? That's what matters most. So this is a time, by the way, for Kevin McCarthy to shine. This is a time for him to show true leadership because, I mean, obviously the president knows with, the Republican House majority, this is dead on arrival, but this is an opportunity for Kevin McCarthy to make a name for himself, as we've seen other House speakers do with presidents from opposing parties.
Kurt?
Well, look, I have to agree with Robert Gates, but take it a little further. Joe Biden has not only been wrong on every foreign policy matter in the last 50 years, he's wrong on every economic one. And this disastrous pseudo-budget, as a Republican, I'm loving it. Let's have this talk.
Yeah, it's amazing because, one, it's not going to fly, and two, there has to be some reconciliation. We wonder exactly what that is and how long it's going to take. Leslie, Kurt, thank you both.